Welcome back. You are now watching the lifestyle segment on The Weekend Show. Beside me is
Aricha Ojide. Good morning, Aisha. It's such a pleasure. You are looking dapper. I
Good
love
morning,
the
good morning.
fit check.
Thank you so much. You are looking amazing as well.
Thank you.
Right, this morning we're going to be discussing impactful leaders in Nigeria, whether it's entrepreneurship, innovation, culture, or even creativity. We have a lot to share when it comes to innovative ideas and the way we lead when it comes to creativity, and even what do we like to say when it comes to young people? You know, when it says you have mentors, mentees, where you push forward and show them the fact that you're exemplary, you are someone you can lead by example.
Inspiring the next generation.
Thank you. Inspirational, because that is something that we need in Africa and Nigeria as a whole. You know, when it comes to you and I, you inspire me, and I believe even the way you lead when it comes to your projects
And all of that.
is amazing. So I must commend you, Lucy.
Oh, thank
Great
you
job.
so much, Aisha.
Joining us this morning, we have two guests in the studio, and they're returning guests, actually,
Oh,
honestly.
yes. And the first returning guest is Dr. Duke Alamboye. He is the CEO, Green Assembly Initiative. And also we have Tayo Folurunsho. He's the founder, Edutainment First International. When I heard the Edutainment First, I was like, okay, that is really catchy. And I'm sure our viewers will get to know better as we go into the discussions properly.
Good to have you here.
It's
Good
a
morning.
pleasure. Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. Now, if you're looking at impactful leaders in Nigeria, you know, like when we start from leaders, a lot of names come to mind. Some controversial, others are celebrated. But for leadership in Nigeria, impactful leadership in Nigeria, what comes to your mind? I think we should begin with you, Dr. Duke.
Well, being impactful is, we're looking at a journey that have inspired others, a journey that have produced others. So for you to be impactful is not just what you do, the consistency you've had in what you do, the progress, the amount of fall in what you've had, the successes you've recorded, and the impact it has played in the lives of individuals around you, in the society, and in the growth of your personal life. So these are the indices that brings about being impactful. So sometimes we misunderstand being impactful to a certain activity. No, it must have spanned through a given period of time. Most importantly, being significant in sectors, in the economy, depending on where you practice or depending on where you're being impactful.
Yeah.
The number of persons, capacity it has built. So these are the things we put together to say this leader or ex-leader or Y leader is being impactful, and then is a leader one can now see and term as what they call an impactful leader. Most importantly, let's move away from leadership. Impactful activities, most times people that come to my mind very frequently are the film actors. You can see for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
Let us say the comedians, like the film actors, the comedy ones, Ekemewo. So we can say he's an impactful actor.
Because he has actually done
it. Has spanned through, people have learned his tactics, people begin to, you see, people begin to act him, people begin to emulate him. He has impacted the society. If you want to laugh, you can pick up. So these are the kind of, these are the kind of thing we'll talk about.
I thought you were going to mention someone like Genevieve, one of my favorites.
He was
really on the comedy.
I just cited one.
And I liked what you mentioned there, where you said the fact that the journey, you know, where you have your triumphs, your failures, how you're able to, you know,
being
move
impactful
through
is
that
not
period.
only the success. You know,
It's
for
the
every successful every
process.
successful journey, there are failures, experiences. So as you drive through this process, what it has produced is what makes it impactful.
Yeah.
We have another question. But to our guest here, I've just been looking at your bracelets. You know, I love your look this morning. And you know, so what is it about Edutain? You know, when it comes to just give us a breakdown. You know, because it's a bit catchy, it's unique. People don't really know what you mean by that. Whether it's just give us what the term is, because I've even already mixed it up with edutainment.
It's a combination of two words: education
And
entertainment.
So basically what we do is to fill in the open space between what the school system offers the student and what they crave. We all know what the student crave is entertainment. So you can't take entertainment out of the school system, out of learning. So, but for me, education is very important.
Yes.
Now, education is the development of the mind. Once your mind is developed, there's nothing you can achieve. Let's say the old system of learning has really affected the student. So we're trying to fill in that open space by bringing in exciting competitions, programs that stimulate their creativity to start becoming a problem solver instead of causing more problem. So for me, edutainment simply is centered around helping young students fill in the open space while in school, become relevant, not just go to classroom. What do you have? What is your passion? What is your drive? And so on and so forth.
You know, like that is actually a very good pointer, because a lot of persons spend a lot of years in school studying things that when they come out of the outside world, it is not something that they want to do, that they can fuel their creativity into. You know, like when leadership, going back to leadership now, like when we talk about leaders and having a lot of persons coming to mind, right? Like, who can be like examples of impactful leaders to you in that sense of having to mix through education, entertainment, and standing out, that these youngsters can actually look up to and be like, okay, I want to be like this person one day and do my own thing?
Okay, so maybe because I'm a producer,
okay,
I'm a TV producer, so the person that have really helped me over the years, I've looked at her and I've learned a lot from since 2007 is Mo Abudu.
Mo Abudu,
so
I really love her.
Yeah, come on. I give it to Mo because she's been consistent and she's been able to fill in that open space, and she has been able to take our product globally.
Exactly.
Now, over the years, she's been behind the scene. Let me use the word rightly. She was a producer before, a TV host. From being a TV host to producer, a filmmaker. She's also a human resource. And so I've followed her, I've followed through all her success process, and I've seen that she's been able to identify with the problem we are having in the country in terms of looking at how the product of the black can circulate the continent. So she's been able to fill in that open space. And for me, why I picked Mo Abudu is because she has really helped me to build on my craft. And I would say in other crafts, I will look into, let's say for entertainment, I'll pick Mo. Because let's give credit to our producers. They deserve to be recognized, appreciated. And if you look inwardly, all the movies now, top notch to the TV producers, top notch to the movie producers.
Yeah.
So I give it to
exactly, because they
Mo.
actually are the engines that keep it running.
I give it to Mo.
So over back to you now, when it comes to what you do at Green Assembly Initiative now, how are you able to, groom impactful leaders? Or what is the objective when it comes to leadership?
Okay, we are critical. We try to bridge out to our nation, the issues in our nation, and see how young people can collaborate to solving or provide solutions. We cannot physically solve the issues. So, but government is not an epitome of knowledge. So we see where we look at the activities of government and strike the areas that there's a lacuna. For instance, insecurity has been a cankerworm in our country. Almost every month we record issues of insecurities within the ambience of our nation. So we try to see how we can come in to bridge, because we have our structures around the 36 states and the FCT.
Wow.
So we have that very quick and bridging communication within this angle. So we do lots of programs on insecurity with collaboration of the DHQ, one with the IG of police, and then I think even with the DSS. So we are very close to the security agencies around the country, trying to see how we can also, because most of the vices are committed around the demography, the youth demography.
Yeah.
So there's one aspect. Then the other aspect is what he has also mentioned. How do we allow or involve youth to have a free atmosphere to learning? Those days where you beat a child to go through school is no more obtainable. So how do you mix what is happening in the secular world to achieving their education? So both can be combined while they also achieve. Then today, you bear with me that for the past 2 years, we've been agitating. The youth demography have been seriously involved. They want to be involved in governance, in leadership. The eagerness became so rising because of few lapses of leaders in quotes. So in getting this right, we've engaged ourselves in so many protests. We've done confrontations. We've done lots of seminars, all in a bid to see how our nation, Nigeria, will be better. But in all of this, there are still very impactful leaders. There are leaders that have stood aright. There are leaders that in their corners, in their areas, in their endeavors, in their profession, they've done excellently well. And that is why today Nigeria is still standing. Because if you put those indices together, they form the nation. So it is eminent, in as much as we've agitated on bad policies, bad governance and all of that, we also give back to the people that have done very well.
Exactly.
She's one of
So
them.
that is the
Yeah.
whole,
Accolades,
yeah, that is the whole essence of a year of honor. We're coming up with a year of honor where we want to honor governors, ministers, airlines, the airline operators, the ones that we feel that is best, the ministers that we have, about 40-something ministers, the one that we think is performing very well, the governors in the various zones, the ones that we can pick out to say, no, these persons were outstanding out of 36 and 1. We're also looking at bankers,
Entrepreneurs,
Yes.
like
entrepreneurs,
our young man here.
entrepreneurs.
Yes.
We even went 15 categories. We've gone
wow.
also into the film industry. We want
Nice.
to see who made us, who went on this period with us, and all of that. So people will also call elitists of our country, whether you want to like it or not, positively or negatively. The National Assembly, we're looking at the senators, the ones that have propagated so fantastic laws.
You have to
Exactly.
say whether we
Yeah.
like it or not.
Yeah, you
We
understand?
like it, and the girls that are doing what is
Yeah.
right.
No,
Exactly,
what we are
because-
looking now is not the negativity.
Of
course.
Sorry to mention
side,
a name. Sorry to mention his name. While we were having our last meeting was on Wednesday.
Yes.
When we came to a particular, I mentioned Ndume, Senator Ndume, and somebody said, "Oh no, he's fighting." I said, "Yes. Let's look at the content of that fight.
Exactly.
We are not looking at
Genesis.
we're not looking at whether he succeeded
Doing
or
critical
not.
analysis, yes.
You must not be impactful because you breached or you anchored with the government in doing things that are not correct. So you were not accepted. But what you're doing was pro-Nigerians,
Exactly.
was something that would have impacted, whether it saw the light of the day. His boldness, his stand to sometimes look at the face of his political party and say that, look,
No.
this thing is not right for now. So you can't take it away from him. The likes of Dino Milai, they were outstanding leaders that they have their own shortfalls. I'm not saying they're going to make the list because I don't give the final list.
Yeah.
But
It's
these
good
are
you
people
said
that I
that.
can cite in. Wole Soyinka, an elitist
Exactly.
leader, brought up so many innovations in the university, even though these days
Yes.
we've derailed from those norms that he brought
People were
into.
trying to
Trying
derail,
to-
but as a
We
teacher
are-
myself, I feel that it's still within the system. But
Thank
you know,
you.
people like myself
So this
and
is
even
what
him
we're
will
looking
be
at,
the
and
ones
it's going to be
push.
very thorough. We're very thorough. It's first of its kind. Over 66 youth leaders have anchored into what the Green Assembly is doing.
Oh,
To
nice.
see that the Minister of Youth, yesterday we were the Minister of Youth, and he has also said that that's a fantastic one. We are perceived as arrogant youths, we are perceived as youths that are always agitated, but we also know that we've done all of this for the progress of our nation.
Yeah, we are just worried about our livelihoods. Like people are worried about how are we going to see
Yeah,
tomorrow and the
actually,
rest of that's just what it is. It's a question I've been itching to ask for you. You know, as a teacher myself, you know, you mentioned entertainment, creativity with education. But my worry is how do we balance this? Because I have students who, once you expose them to a bit of creativity and, you know, learning for fun, all those nice things, they want to stay there. They don't
And
want to go
then
back to
leave
the
all
books.
of the books
They don't want to go back
behind,
to the
yeah.
theories. It's now full on practical. But how do you balance that? You know, you mentioned something like that as well, where you combine the two. So now the balancing is the real issue here.
Okay, so for me, is it just like I mentioned, it's a combination of two words: education, entertainment. So now, just like I mentioned, education is the development of the mind. So the first thing first for every person, most especially the student, is to discover yourself. So some of them, let me use myself as an example. I studied social study education, and that was the course I applied.
From the very beginning.
Yes, no,
of
I
your
was intentional
studies.
about it. So it actually took me like 6 years before I got that course. I went back to school.
6 years, you
Yes,
said.
yes. So now studying social study education was, I was intentional. I wanted to be an educationist. So having a solid foundation in entertainment, television production, back end. So what I decided to do with my course of study, having discovered myself. So I used to encourage young people, most importantly, first thing is discover yourself. Now, once you discover yourself, it will be easy for you to flow. So you set out your priority. One of the things that affect young people, once they start getting it in terms of their passion, they tend to forget their priorities. So set up priorities. Now, the main reason why you're in school is to develop your mind, get skilled. So what happened to every student so far that I've seen, that we have one-on-one conversation, is I keep encouraging, don't forget why you're in school, which is the main objective. Get your certificate, but make sure you prepare for life after school. Get a skill, because nobody wants to employ anybody that doesn't have a skill. You need to show what you've done as a student, and that is the breakout. That is the big break. That is what enables you to stand out.
Exactly. No, when you're talking about having to stand out and all of that, I don't think we can actually talk about leadership without highlighting the role that competence, integrity, character, the excellency, like, okay, these are the qualities that actually set an individual apart from a group of people. It can be in a group of perhaps medical doctors, and then you see that, okay, this one has an edge over the others. Perhaps in politics, you see that, okay, this one has an edge. In Ibokun, I was in Ghana, I was listening to the other time, and then she was the first woman chairperson of First Bank. And then I see that, okay, there are some times that even if that road has not been followed before by anyone, you can actually be a pace setter in that role. So in what role, like, how does integrity and excellency, competence, character play in the life, especially for young people actually growing and looking at people, and they don't obviously know where to start from on the leadership journey? Other persons have stereotypes to be like, okay, leadership is something that you are born into. It's for the one class of people. I am not there. I was not born with a silver spoon, in quote. So
that's not my business.
That is not my business. So how do we inspire? What can we tell these young people? Like, okay, this can be achieved, even though that part has not been walked before. That would be for
me. Okay, all right. Very excellent. But very unfortunately, again, we're in a society where these indices you've just mentioned, morals, is almost dying.
Truly.
That is because of the pursuit for survival. Okay, in a nation where the economy is stable, the potential for these indices, honesty, integrity,
discipline,
moral discipline, will spring up by itself. It's like planting a seed on a fertile soil. The fertility of the soil alone helps the seed to grow properly while you do the external feeding of the seed. So, to young people, nobody wants to care again.
Actually.
We have to speak the truth. Nobody wants to care. As painful as it is, just a few percentage of this population will think about integrity. But we still have those homes where morals are kept. Those homes where they still preach is a standard. There are some families that you can't take it away from them. It has been a norm in the family. So these are the things that we want young people to emulate. Now, bad things is fast selling in our country. We celebrate the bad leaders more because I still trace it to celebration, to survival. That is why programs like this, where you can single out people that have stood out with integrity and honesty, single them out and appreciate them, make it louder, so that people can now turn back to say that this is the right persons to emulate. If we leave them, they are few. If we begin to leave them, I can tell you it was a struggle. Getting 36 governors, picking out 6 alone, was a struggle. Let me give you an analogy. In the south, in the whole of the south, in the whole of the southeast, while we went through picking the best governor, it was well competitive. Let us take a look at it. Are you going to talk about the Anambra governor? Are you going to talk about the Enugu state governor? The Imo state governor? Is it the Abia state governor? Is it the Ebonyi state governor? Very competitive. As bad as what is happening, insecurity that is happening around the southwest. If you take it down to the north, northeast, it was just too open. You could see one governor glaringly winning. So what I'm pointing out here is that out of 36 governors, plus the FCT governor, it is so obvious that only few are impacting. So if you don't celebrate those ones, the other ones that are not doing even anything, And don't forget, we're in a season where the presidency is given more to the governors. So if you don't celebrate those few,
Who are doing
the
the
other
right
ones
thing.
will be overwhelming.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
agree with that.
I'm just using the governorship aspect as an example. It springs into all other
Other sectors.
categories.
I think that's a great
we're
place to leave it.
discussing.
You know, when you mentioned celebrating the few that are doing the right thing, and that's
Yeah.
what it is that you're all focused at the Green
Yes.
Initiative Assembly.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you
very
Lovely having breakfast with you.
It's a pleasure. We didn't get any
We hope to
Is that
see you
outside
soon. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again.
It's a pleasure.
All right, Lucy, great job today. Good to see you.
It's always a good and fun conversation with you, Aisha B. Thank you for
Thank you very
joining us
much.
today.
All right, stay tuned. There is more on the weekend show. Let me see and hear from Esemeri. Good luck. Is he connected? Let's see if we can hear from him as to what's happening in River State. Can you hear me? Hello, good luck. Can you hear me? All right, we are still waiting to get more feedback as to what is happening at the elections at River State Council elections. All right, we'll call for a short break. Once again, Lucy, it's good to be here with you.
Of course.
Stay tuned. There is more on the weekend show.